So we'll just get right to it. Here with Andy Crutchfield. Why don't you introduce yourself and your role and how long you've been at SDI?
Okay, my name's Andy Crutchfield, and I'm a site manager at the Ascend Foley site. I started with SDI as a temp back in 2014. And from there, had some mentoring. Actually went full time with SDI in 2016, after the site manager in cantonment, kind of saw my potential with my past background in, 28 years of being in customer service management, retail management.
Nice.
Kind of brought that to the table to, work for SDI.
I mean, that's really important, especially because we're in such a customer service business. So, yeah. So prior to becoming a temp, what attracted you to SDI?
After starting, I liked it. The hours were great, better than retail.
Nice.
So, just kind of stuck in there and did what I do.
I mean, do you find that it's significant because Ascend is a specialty chemical manufacturer, and I mean significantly different than retail. Do you find that, I mean, it's still, people are people, and so it's just you're in the business of solving problems, or is it significantly different for you?
No, it's pretty much the same. I mean, Ascend's our customer, and you get problem customer situations that sometimes you just got to do your best to try to work through it, and you make the outcome a positive one. So no, it's no different than retail.
What's been your biggest surprise being here at SDI?
Biggest surprise would be, being promoted and promoted based on my experience. And it not taking, I guess sometimes it takes longer to get to the position I'm at. That was really surprising, but
It was a good surprise, though, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this last year, I started in 2014 too. So this last year has been significantly different, not only at SDI, but for everybody, but especially because, we have this pandemic, but also the way that it impacted the supply chain globally, both from a demand and a supply side. As you reflect on the pandemic and your experiences as a site manager throughout it, what did you learn from the pandemic?
Well, I learned that, as a person and as with SDI, we can adapt to overcome, the issues that came up with the pandemic, and we still do that to this day.
I mean, that's what we're here for, right? So being on the site, I'm sure you've come across many challenges and had to overcome them. Is there anyone that sticks out in particular that you've had to overcome, and how did you do that?
Well, with the Foley side, it was just implemented in August of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a brand new storeroom. They had been with SDI, but only from a non-stock purchasing aspect. So with setting up the storeroom, creating the SAP numbers, and getting the min maxes, there's a lot of work adjusting what was initially set up.
Right.
So I mean that presented some challenge, but after what it's been just over a year, things have kind of smoothed out, and we've got the storeroom running like it should be.
Did you have to involve the client a lot? Was it, I mean, a big change management initiative for them?
With the planner scheduler, he was ordering all this stuff nonstop, and I said, well, hey, let's set this up as stock material, and that takes that off your plate from having to order it every time you run out.
Right.
The system do it, and as far as putting in reservations, we're still working on that. It's a lot of walk-in activity, but they were receptive to those types of changes. So we're just pushing towards that every day.
Excellent. That's awesome. And it's good when you can get them to kind of buy in, and it helps with the success of the program more that way. That's awesome.
Right.
Um, let's see, what's something that you're really proud that you've accomplished since you've been at SDI?
Being part of the team. I mean, I've had a lot of great mentoring
Hmm.
and with a lot of great people within SDI. So
You know,
that's
Andy, you're not the first person to mention mentoring, and it's interesting because we don't have a formal mentorship program where it's like when somebody new comes on, they get assigned somebody to kind of show them the ropes. They just kind of, I mean, with training, obviously, um, but that's neat that people have been able to find someone to mentor them and
well,
to mentor.
I mean, it's one thing is, I mean, I'm the only person at this site, but in my past management, you know, if you train your people to do the things they need to do and to mentor them, it just makes you more successful. And I think that's
Mm,
key to any business, to ensure your people have the resources to learn to do their job.
that's a great point. How do you know what you do makes a difference to the customer?
Because the customer, they come to me when they need something. If I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing for the customer, they would seek help elsewhere. Or,
Right.
you know, it's just, I, if I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing because the customer didn't like it, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So,
You know what? That's a good point. That's how you know, right?
right.
um, talked about mentoring and making sure that your team has the knowledge to get done their work. Is there is that one of the most rewarding parts of your job, or what is the most rewarding part of your job?
Um, the most rewarding for me is just being able to do the job, and if run into issues or problems, being able to overcome them, and at the end of the day, everything's positive.
I like it. I like it. So you've been here, 2014. Oh, I guess you're coming up on 7 years now.
Yeah,
Is my math right?
including the temp. Yes.
7 years. And you've seen the announcements that come out. We have new people starting almost daily now. Is
Right.
there any words of wisdom or advice that you would give somebody coming in?
Um, just be patient. There's hiccups, sometimes daily, sometimes less frequently, but just stick to it. And if you have questions, reach out to somebody that can help you, or if they can't, they can get the answer for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That was great. Thank you, Andy Crutchfield, for your time today.